Okay guys, so this is an introduction for the QuickZurface Addon 21. So it was made for Christmas 21 for my German audience, I have to say. But I think you will have some fun with it. Not just my German subscribers, because this is my English channel and sometimes I want to make an English video. Not very often, so I think it's my second video, but yeah, you can get this add-on on BlenderMarket. Here, let's check what it can. We have at first here quality settings. So this is just to activate the cavities in the viewport, and you have also a high quality button for also adding shadows and ambient occlusion and so on. Next one is wireframe view. You can deactivate just by clicking here. Face orientation. You can smooth it. It also activates the, what was it? Auto smooth. And you can add the bevel, and you not just adding the bevel, you also added, this was wrong, bevel with good settings and weighted normal. So that's the main thing for this quick buttons there, but it will be very interesting if we add some materials. So let's check this at the shading mode here. So I have prepared something here. So you don't just have some materials here, you also have some nodes. So you have a virtual layer node. This is here, and a water layer node. And I have two texture sets here. So color map, roughness, height, color, roughness, height of two different texture sets. So at next we have to connect this color, roughness, bump or height, color, roughness, and bump. So this is very cool. So what it does is it blends the textures based on the height. And here is the level for this. And this is very cool. So you can mix textures together. You can add objects if you want, if you have a alpha texture for this. But we will mix this now with the water layer. So here color to color, roughness to roughness, bump to bump. And here the same color at first in the base color, the specular for the water, roughness, and bump into the height here. And here we have the water level. So at first let's check the texture itself. I just made a mistake because my material output was not connected with the principal BSDF. So now let's move on here. So now we can see the water layer effect here. We can just simply play with the height. We have a slider for the wet contact. We can have it very sharp, but we can also get some kind of transition, which is very cool. We can change the darkness of the water, so to say, the specularity of the water, specularity of the texture, and that's very cool. Yeah, same here for the texture layer. So you can blend, as I said, you can blend two textures based on the height. You can lift them if you have to make some adjustments, and here you can just slide between these two texture sets. So these are the node groups here. You can add the virtual layer, this is this one, and the water layer, which is this one. Okay, so this was the first thing here. And what do we have? Materials, material, metal rust. So you can change here the transition height, the transition itself. So it's a funny material. It was just some days playing around with some different stuff here. EV glass. I have to hurry a bit. Wood. This is just a simple procedural wood. can play with the scale here. Endless texture, this is just a way to make some textures seamless. If I have some which are not seamless, this should be one. Yeah. And here you can see this kind of transition. It's just a kind of blur effect. So you can say how much it should be and also the scale of the transition. And then it's a seamless texture, which is very cool, by the way. Yeah, Sci-Fi Plates, this was just a funny one. Here, scale, and it morphs a bit. I think it's a very funny one. You can use this as a mask or stuff. Just, you know, I think it's a very cool thing to playing around with this. Okay, so cement plaster. Okay. This I very like this texture because you have some variations here. So it's not just for one usage. The base scale of the size, the crack scale, bump. It's a very cool procedural texture. I use it very often because it looks very good most of the time. Tiles, procedural tiles. So there we have it. Based on UV. Or where we have the light here, maybe. And we can reduce the roughness here. And looks cool. We also have some kind of bump variation. There you can see it a bit better, or maybe at the top. Yes, here. Let's check there. So, very cool thing. You can change the mortar size for sure. You can change the edge here, which is also very cool. And the bevel. So, yes. Very general tiling texture. Okay, brick. This is for cycles. I mean, you can use it for EV, but it's made for cycles. And if we use a subdivision on it with adaptive sampling, this looks a bit strange. It's the bevel. Okay, so simple. Okay, now. And there are also many settings you can change. I think it was just from a course I have made. So very funny thing. I just keep it simple. Mortar uniform. Yeah. You can play around with it. And I think I use it very often, but it's a bit intense for your GPU, so be careful. Yeah, parallax effect. Okay, let's do this parallax effect. There we have it. So this is a complete setup, but for sure you have to put in some textures. And the first important one here is the height map. So you can click here to go in, or you can press the tab button. And now let's check. Yeah, maybe this one again. So height map, non-color. Yeah, good. And the next, the albedo, AO, and roughness, if you have one. If not, you can also disconnect it. and normal map. Okay, this looks cool. So let's change the material mode. And now I'd have to load the textures. There we have it. Yeah, it looks a bit subtle. So we can increase the strength. But it seems that we have to adjust the height a bit more. So we go in here and then you can access this point. And now we can reduce it here until we see white highlights. This should be good. No, it should be good. Okay. So increase the strength a bit more. And now we have a parallax effect. So a bit more 3D. Okay, some other stuff. Just check it out, have some fun with it, and see you in the next video.